What's up, guys? This is Tomcat from TC9700 Gaming, and welcome to episode 3 of How to Drift in Forza Motorsport 4. In this episode, I'm going to cover something that a lot of people have been wanting me to cover, and that's tuning. So we're going to go ahead and head to Career and select it. And the car I'm going to be using for this is my Nissan Sylvia S15. And what I'm going to basically do here is I'm going to show you guys my tuning setup for it. And I pretty much use this tuning setup for all of my drift cars, so hopefully you can adapt this to whatever car you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Tune Setup. You can see I have my tires, my front set to 25.5 psi, my rear set to 25.0 psi. I didn't mess with the gears on this car. I put my front camber all the way negative, and my rear camber 0.5 degrees negative. My front caster, I put it all the way up, and you can mess with the toe just to see what works for you. Now, I didn't mess with the anti-roll bars. Springs, you want to have them both the front and the rear just below 300 usually works. A little lower in the rear than in the front. You want the ride height all the way down. Same kind of thing with the damping. Didn't mess with the aero. Don't mess with the braking. And this is probably the most important part of any drift tune, and that's the differential. You need to install a race differential, and make sure that you have this 15% split, 75% acceleration, 75% acceleration, 50% deceleration. That is what you want. That is what is going to work for you. So now that we've covered tuning, I'm going to go ahead and run over the specs of this car a little bit. Currently it's pushing 598 horsepower, which anywhere around 600 horsepower is usually pretty much perfect for any drift car if it's tuned well. So we're going to go ahead and back out and go ahead to Free Play and go to Hot Lap. And what we're going to cover in this episode, I'm going the wrong way. Anyway, what we're going to cover in this episode is how to drift long sweeping corners. They're called sweepers. And where we're going to go to learn this technique is Maple Valley. Maple Valley is probably the best track in the game to learn how to drift sweepers, because trust me, the opening sweeper on Maple Valley is probably the best sweeping corner for drifting in the game. I love Maple Valley. It's one of my favorite tracks. Absolutely fun track to drift, and I hope you guys enjoy drifting this corner too. That corner that you see there, that is what we're going to be drifting. So we're going to go ahead and start the race, or well, it's not really a race, but revving up my Sylvia. Oh, look at that boost gauge. Alright, so you're going to want to hit this corner in third gear starting out. As you enter it, you're going to be using third gear, but about halfway through you'll probably want to go up to fourth just to help your car maintain its angle. And if you drift this right, if you drift the entire corner, you should end up with a solid 10 to 11,000 points. So we're going to go ahead and spin around and face the other direction. And this is really what you want to do. You want to come to this section, do the sweeper, spin around, and go back the other way, because you want to be able to do it from both directions. And doing it from both directions really helps you get used to doing a corner a different way, because that'll help prepare you for drifting on other tracks. So anyway, another great practice technique to learn. And just find what gear works for your car for this corner. For me, I find that usually third and fourth gear work the best on that corner. It's definitely easier to go from this direction because you have a downhill incline. Well, not incline signifies going up, but well, actually no, it doesn't. But anyway, you're going downhill. You have a downhill grade, and basically that that gravity pushes your car. So it's going to be a little easier going down, but you should definitely learn how to go back up too. And it'll definitely help you for when you start to drift on Fujimi Kaido. Another great way to practice and to prepare for Fujimi Kaido is to try to stay within the yellow lines of the track as much as possible, because on Fujimi Kaido, those yellow lines are walls. They're barriers. So if you can stay within these yellow lines, then you're definitely well on your way to being able to do some great drifting on Kaido. This is another great sweeping corner. I mean, while it's not as big as the other corner, it's got a different shape to it, which makes it kind of unique. And if you drift it right, you'll actually come out of that corner with around 14,000 points. Now this is a little tricky section here. It's an uphill section, and you want to try and make this transition as smooth as possible. I didn't really show it that well right there, but you want to make it as smooth as possible, and after you crest this little hill, you want to keep your drift going. And cut through these bends here. Just keep the drift going as long as you possibly can, and you should end up with a good 10 to 15,000 points after this little section. We're actually about to come to the end of the track here, and if that helped you, tell me in the comments. And if you guys would like some guides for individual tracks, I'm totally up for that. And before we end this, I'll just show you a quick exterior shot of the car. It's my little paint scheme, white and orange. I love it. And as always, guys, leaving you with a little burnout. And I will see you guys on the racetrack. Bye.